Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to The Boys. This time we're on Season 2, Episode 2, titled Proper Planning and Preparation. Nice big piece of illustration there. Episode 2. So, Episode 1, we had Susan going literally, her head was blown up, so RIP to her. I think that death I would never have seen coming. That death I would never have seen coming. They set her up to be clearly integral to the plan that the boys had to take down Vought and to actually tackling the whole Vought situation, and then they kill her off, which means that they have bigger cards they want to play. Obviously, they have bigger twists they want to pull, bigger cards they want to play, much higher stakes at hand too. So yeah, but even the way she died, the way she died, it's on the one hand brutal and, it's hard to accept, but on the other hand, it's also, it kind of shows how far they're willing to go to get the point across and stuff like that. So, Susan died. We had glimpses and teasers of the new Supe Terrorist. Someone with the powers of telekinesis. They took the human trafficker boat and toppled it onto the person dealing them. And crushed his arm, and crushed basically every bone in his arm was gone, and a few ribs too, so that was that. And I think it's somewhat safe to assume it could have been the same person who killed Susan, assuming they can actually make brains go boom too, exploding it from the inside out and everything like that, so that would make sense. But they're the latest in what could be like a whole new line of super terrorists, because I think, they had Nakib in the last season, and they killed him off right at the beginning of this season, and now they have this new one too. So I doubt it's the only one. I doubt they're the only, the telekinesis person is the only one there. But we'll see. We will see exactly where they go with that. But we have a new terrorist, a super terrorist. We have a new hero too. A new hero joining the Seven, replacing Translucent on the team, and that is Stormfront. We haven't really seen much of her. We got the briefest of introductions from her. We got her literally live streaming on Instagram or whatever that she was joining the team and that she was on set to film whatever. And she announced that she was the new replacement for Translucent, much to the dismay of Homelander. Homelander was immediately pissed off and went to visit Mr. Edgar on 82 to have a chat with him about it. And then Mr. Edgar, he gave us some lovely backstory on Vought, how they're not actually a superhero company, they're more of a pharmaceutical company, but the superheroes are the best way for them to positively market and kind of advertise the Compound V and stuff like that. So so he gave us that kind of backstory, so that was cool. And just seeing the overall kind of tension, that kind of, that kind of antagonistic kind of dynamic already being established between Edgar and Homelander was really, really fun. Edgar he's similar to Stillwell, except he's not on Homelander's side. He in no way will take orders from Homelander. He gives orders to Homelander. He's the one, he's one of the higher ups. He gives out the orders. He tells them what to do, where to be, how to look, and all that kind of stuff. Stillwell was cooperative at least, and stuff like that. But Edgar, he makes it clear that, he's not there to actually play nice with Homelander. He's there to do his job and to run the company well, especially after what's been done, Homelander setting up the whole fiasco with the super terrorists. And also to do with, him just having the most stubborn attitude of all. Him just having the most stubborn kind of steadfast kind of attitude towards everything that they do. So him and Homelander aren't going to get along. Him and Homelander are not going to get along. But I guess it'll be fun to see. But I want to see more of Stormfront too. I want to see one thing. I want to see if she's really as bad as everyone says she is, and also just what her power set is like, what kind of hero she is, and how effective she is, and stuff like that. Because after seeing him in season 1, I'm now waiting to meet a hero or just a superpowered being. Hero or villain, just a superpowered being who's a match for Homelander. I'm waiting to meet a hero who's a match for Homelander, because Homelander, he needs to, I think at some point, he needs to be put in his place. And I want to see what kind of effect that has on him. Right now, the only person who comes close is Edgar, and he's human. So, we'll see about all that stuff. But yeah, Butcher's back. Butcher showed up right at the very end. He returned to the team. And Frenchie had called him up because Frenchie was, angsty, waiting around for a team captain to arrive and give them orders. So he called up Butcher and told him where they were, and he came back again, much to Huey's dismay, after what happened last season. So he's back. So now we should have the boys are back together again. The boys and girl are back together. So that'll be fun to see. And Huey as well, he was hatching his own plan. He had his own plan, hatching with Annie to get some Compound V out of Vault and to hand that over to the press and get that ball rolling. And then that spawned some tension between him and MM, which got kind of resolved halfway through and stuff. But she still got it. She still said she'd get it within a day or two. So yeah, but fun stuff right off the bat of this season. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from the season premiere. So episode 2, proper preparation and planning. Yeah, this will be the highlight reel. So if you guys want to see the full length episode, the full length reaction to this episode, the full length watch along, you can go check that out over at patreon.com. But yeah, that is it. So proper preparation and planning. Let's go. Let's go.
Federal authorities have initiated a multi-state manhunt for William Butcher, allegedly murdering Vaughn Vice President Madeleine Stilwell, as well as endangering her infant son, Theodore. Law enforcement officials have set up a tip line and are urging anyone.
Okay.
Ryan.
You use your powers.
What do you mean?
Oh, god damn. Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, this is a different actor.
You're my son.
I just noticed that. This is a different actor for the kid.
See, you're just inhibited by suppressive
fuck
energy.
is
That's
that?
it.
Is that a
Just
mushroom?
gotta realign things.
Oh, purple lightning.
Okay,
That's
ladies,
neat.
We have a big day.
When?
Oh no, what happened? Is it Elena?
Thank you.
Is something happened to Elena?
Maeve, we've never had 3 women in the 7 before. This is a moment. Girls, get it done. You are not.
Yeah, well, she cares more about her girl.
I have a family emergency too.
A reading from the book of Revelations. And you are blessed to have your family
Oh, a fruit
and
basket?
your friends
A
to
fruit
help you
flower?
carry it.
Seems like a thing Butcher would do, just passing on like a fruit basket.
Hey,
Jesus, is that you?
in here, open up.
What? Don't tell me it's his gills. His gills are talking to him?
Bro, we gotta talk. No, you gotta look at us. Look at us.
His gills are talking to him. Is he hallucinating? This has to be the shrooms. This has got to be the shrooms. His gills are talking to him.
Remember Melissa Dabrowski, the kindergarten teacher you finger banged backstage at the VH1 Educator Awards?
Is that Patton Oswalt?
You were supposed to present her with Teacher of the Year, but you bailed while she was pulling her panties back on.
Oh, Christ, that's...
Yeah, because
Patton Oswalt is playing his gills.
Bullshit. She just put her hands on your chest.
Agent Koenig is playing his
suit.
gills.
She would have laughed.
Oh, jeez. Patton Oswalt playing his gills is a role I never would have seen coming. That is a voice I never would have thought they'd need to use. The gills of all things. She really rocks the casual look. Oh yeah, it is Elena. It is Elena. What happened to Elena? What happened to you, honey?
Still has Maggie Shaw as your emergency contact.
Maggie Shaw.
Sorry.
It's
That's
okay.
such a sweet name. That's a sweet name.
Turns out my appendix was about to burst.
Oh, appendicitis.
There are easier ways to get my attention.
Maeve, I'm fine, I promise.
Yeah, she's sticking around. She's in it for the long
You
run.
know, watching Botched, I'll wait a while. Just see, okay?
I'm living for the Maeve and Elena content. I'm living for
I don't think girls do anything better. I think chicks and dicks are in it together.
it.
Oh, that's me. You want to talk about girl power? Let's talk about getting some pockets.
Stormfront is today's feminist. Stormfront is today's feminist.
He's right behind you.
Hey, here comes! Oh, A-Train!
Hey, what's up?
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, crap, he's awake.
Wow,
He's up and awake.
Thanks, thank you.
You are so beautiful to me.
I'm glad they got Patton Oswalt to do this.
I'm not.
I'm glad they got Patton to do this.
Everything I need.
You are so beautiful
To me.
Does this guy have something for milk? Does he have like a milk fetish or something?
And he chatted me up all night. 2 days later, there's a fire in his office. They found his head in one room. And his torso in another.
Oh, that's what happens to people who are seen with maids.
What are you saying?
Homelander kills them.
I don't want him to do that to you.
No.
Who? If he ever finds out about you, why are you telling me this?
If Homelander ever touches Elena, I will kill him myself. I don't care. I will kill him myself. No one touches Elena.
I don't really have anyone to call, though.
You could call me.
No, he can't. He can't. Not ever. No. This is bad enough. Face to face is bad enough.
See, sometimes it's hard, Ryan, being superior to every single other person on the planet. It's isolating.
Yes, teach the kid about superhero supremacy. Yeah.
Not
raise him that way.
Feel that kind of. I love you, son. You say it back.
I love you too.
This is nice.
No, it's really not. It's the polar opposite of nice. The polar opposite. Oh. Oh, it's her brother. It's her brother. He's alive. Her brother's alive.
It's her brother.
What the fuck are you doing? It's her brother! Oh crap, okay. Oh jeez. Oh. Oh. Oh, that'll do it. Oh, that'll definitely do it. That'll definitely do it. That will definitely do the damage.
I used to dress as her every Halloween, and all the girls dressed like Disney sluts would make fun of me, and you know what I thought? I thought, who fucking cares? Pippi didn't care. She never cared about being polite or cute.
It's an effective way to lead life.
Oh, and if someone sticks a dick in your mouth, bite it off. Pippi Longstocking would bite a D. That's damn sure.
Yeah. Damn good advice. Damn good advice.
Arrest you with me.
I don't get it. He found out he was her brother and he still went for the shot.
Come on, don't piss about. We ain't got all night.
I don't get it. It's like, oh, he's her brother. Oh, I'll make sure to aim for the head then.
But Kamiko is one of us. I'll find another way.
I suppose you agree, don't you? Since your tongue is halfway up her ass. It's like Huey's infected you both with a raging case of vagina.
No, Kimiko, you are no, you are not a monster. You're a badass. There's a very important difference. You're a badass. You are never a monster.
Because you killed your fucking girlfriend.
How does she know?
That's what you told Huey, right? That you killed Popclaw?
Ah.
I looked at the Vought forensics report and wow.
Oh, she knows about the heroin.
Jammed
She
into
knows
her
about the
arm
heroin.
at the same time.
Oh yeah, she's just gonna take that back now. Thank you very much. She's driving a hard bargain.
アメリカ人さ、ヒーローが悪魔みたいな声でやってきた。キャンプもその周りの
Homelander. Homelander. Oh.
みんな死んじまった。
Homelander massacred her village.
わかるだろ。
Oh. Oh no. Brother versus sister. No. Oh, Jesus. Damn, that escalated quick. That reunion escalated quick. Let her go, Mouse. Let her go. Don't do anything you're gonna regret. Do not do anything you're gonna regret. Oh. Something like that. Something like that. Just choking him out, right? Just choking him out? Just choking him out? Unconsciousness? Yeah?
Cheers, love. At least someone's got some sense around here.
Oh, shut up, Billy. You tried to shoot him down in the first place. Yeah, don't try and get all smart now. Davis has to get a good. So, I mean, you could probably still do like that and then just whoosh. Oh, yeah. Oh, gee. Okay. Okay, I figured that was coming at some point.
You come between me and my missus again, I'll fucking kill you.
Okay. That's the end of that episode. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that was a interesting episode. Very interesting episode. A lot of reveals happening. Yeah, so Kimiko's brother. Let's start with that point. So he is the Supe Terrorist. He is the Supe Terrorist that they released. And she knew it from the offset. That's what she was saying about the boy-girl thing. So it's nothing to do with buoyancy or boats or anything like that. She didn't misspell boy. She actually meant boy as in girl, like the opposite to her, like her brother. So yeah, but then why would she not write brother then? Like she knew boy. Like did she not know brother? Or maybe she doesn't really understand much English. I don't know. I mean, well, no, she does because she can she can converse with Frenchie. I'm confused as to why she hasn't tried sign language with him. Yeah, I'm confused because like she knows it now we know she actually is mute. It's not like a issue with talking to strangers or stuff like that. It's actually she is actually mute. So yeah, so she knows sign language. So I'm wondering why she didn't try that with Frenchie and just resorted to shakes of the head and nods and stuff like that. But I don't know. But either way, it's him. It's her brother Mouse. So yeah, that is. I think that's an interesting way to amp up the story. That's a very interesting way to amp up the story. That it's actually her brother who went through the same experimentation. He went through the same compound V experimentation that she did, and he was given powers. He was given powers of telekinesis, while she had super strength and agility and speed and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's interesting. And yeah, I think Billy. Billy is just impulsive as all hell. Like that kind of reaction, like like Huey saying, don't like, just calm down a bit. It's her brother, and he says, yeah, noted. Look, let me just reload this, aim for the head, and kaboom. Like, I don't know how he goes from okay, it's her brother to great, let's aim for the head. Like, I don't know what his thought process was in that moment. I don't know what led him to think that going ahead with the shot, knowing that he's her family, like the target is now Kimiko's family, would make things any better. But I don't know. And then Huey actually blocked the shot, or at least sent it a bit more astray, knocking it to the side. So there was that. So yeah, he is her brother. And he's the younger one too. He's the younger sibling. He's the younger brother. So he had some interesting backstory to share about Shining Light and his kind of loyalty to Shining Light. He sees them as people giving a voice to the voiceless and the Freedom Liberation Troop and that kind of stuff. So there's that. But then I think he does still share the same kind of negative memories of being experimented on by them through Compound V, like the pain and the wanting to die and stuff like that. So he still shares that. But I think because he was working with because he had been with them before the Compound V, he shares those memories too. So he believes in their message. I think it could also just be indoctrination that she escaped because she actually left she was smuggled away from Shining Light, whereas he stayed behind, and then because it worked on her, they then did it on him. So him I reckon it could just be indoctrination. He wants to believe that he's doing the right thing being with them, and that staying with them is what's best for him, and that he can actually do something good with them, so there's that. But then their home is gone. Their home is gone. Their village was gone. Their village was massacred by a shrieking demon superhero that came down from the sky. That is a textbook definition of Homelander. A textbook definition of Homelander. You know, you see someone like him, red, white, and blue, flying down from the sky with big glowing red eyes as he just sets the entire place on fire. Like, that would terrify anyone. That would terrify anyone. And he even shared other details, like, you know, like a school full of kids caving in, and like, you know, like gas tanks exploding and just incinerating anyone nearby, and just literally the entire village just being destroyed. The entire village just being destroyed and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's just horrible. It's just horrible. So yeah, but yeah, now with Mouse, Mouse is, I think, yeah, Mouse being the super terrorist that they're after now makes things more complicated, because I think Huey did point out that, you know, if they actually captured him, then, you know, like they just put him in like a black box and torture him or something for information, because he's a terrorist. So yes, I think it definitely makes things more awkward, especially since Kimiko now will actually, you know, fight harder to protect him and to protect him from anything bad that might happen to him, despite what he's done. So I think, you know, seeing that kind of battle between the boys and the CIA will definitely be interesting to see how it actually goes down and how it affects the team. Yeah, Billy's anger, especially towards the end, him saying, "You get between my missus again," and like, "Between me and my missus again, and I'll kill you." I'm trying to remember, like, what did he do to get? I mean, again, when he says his missus, I assume he means Becca, his actual wife. But what did he actually do to get between him and Becca? I don't know. I don't know if I meant to take it literally, or if if it was like something else he said last season. Like, I mean, the only thing I can remember is Huey chastising Billy, like, you know, like Billy mentioned, you know, carrying on the mission for Robin, but then Huey being like, you know, "Oh, keeping your loyalty and your promise to a dead woman, how's that working out for you?" I like him insulting Becca in that way. That's all I can. That's the best I can remember. But him actually getting between them, I don't know what that's in reference to. But either way, whatever he did, it was enough to warrant it warranted enough anger out of Billy for him to deliver like a literal blood drawn sock to the face. After that, like, you know, just literally floored him, you know, spitting out blood and everything, and giving that very, very stern warning. So yeah, I feel like this opening, like, Huey's just antagonizing people. He antagonized over actually doing this stuff, and, you know, contacting Annie and putting them all at risk and getting Compound V. And now I think with Billy, he hates that he's back. He hates that he's back after what happened last season, and then the kind of the last words they shared, literally the last words they shared last season. He just hates that he's back, because, you know, he sees that kind of, you know, that vengeance in Billy that just overrides everything else. He sees that vengeance, you know, like that vengeance, that need to kill and hurt Homelander, that, you know, just kind of discards everyone else's safety and everyone else's, like, kind of lives. So yeah, but I think this opening, it's not really setting up Huey to be much of a good guy. He's just kind of like, I mean, he is one of the good guys, but he's still kind of, you know, he didn't really bother much to be the team leader. He just kind of went down his own path of contacting Annie and, you know, just telling others, like, okay, this is what I'm doing, but, you know, I don't know what you guys are doing. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that's like like an intentional route to go down for Huey, if they're like trying to make him out to be like, you know, just somewhat punchable in the first couple of episodes, or if they're going down a completely different route. But I guess we'll see. But I think it's definitely that it's definitely easy to see. It's easier to see that the stakes are definitely higher this season now, with new stuff coming in and the boys being literally just being outlaws. They're literally outlaws, and the Supes are out to get them. The CIA's out to get them, and now Billy's made a deal with Grace. You know, if he can get her, the Supe Terrorist, then she'll help him get Becca back. So yeah, I don't know how that stuff's gonna go, but I'm interested to see it. Maeve, Queen Maeve, also known as Maggie Shaw. That is a really cute name. Maggie Shaw. Sounds Irish. And Dominique McGilligan, the actress who plays Maeve, is Irish herself. So it's fitting. Sounds fitting. But yeah, Maeve, in her normal casual look, in her shades and her cap and her tied back hair, went to visit Elena. Elena was in hospital, no thanks to appendicitis. Bit of a bitch, that one. She visited Elena in hospital in her normal getup, so no one would actually recognize her as Queen Maeve and suspect that something was up between her and Elena. And I think that was good. Like some nice content between them two, and just like seeing like something more casual and more personal, like interpersonal between them two. So that was fun, like her sharing a bed and some Jello and all that kind of stuff, and just her trying to be there, even with Elena just kind of thinking that something else was up and that she had more important place to be as Queen Maeve. Her actually staying there, sticking there through and through, waiting to see what happened was really good to see, and even her sharing that horrifying story of the guy that changed the placeholders at the Oscars so that he could sit next to Maeve and also chat her up the rest of the night, and then the next day they found his head in one place and his body in another, and I think his office was just completely burned down as a whole. So, yeah, I think the general vibe we get from Homelander is psychopaths, is that he's a psychopath. So, like anyone he doesn't like, anyone who doesn't do what he wants them to do, anyone who crosses him in any way that inconveniences him, he kills them. He literally kills them, and he has no trouble doing so. So, and even last season, he mentioned that if he caught wind that there was someone else who was interested in Maeve, or that that there was someone else out there who was that either if there was someone else that who had their eyes on her, or if there was someone else that she had her eyes on, like if there was someone else other than him that there was any kind of interest between, then he wouldn't take it well. He said he wouldn't take it well, and I think now her sharing the story is proof of what happens when he doesn't take it well. He just destroys them. And he's untouchable too. If they send like a SWAT team after them, he will literally just flick them into the sun. So understandably, very understandably, Maeve wants to keep Elena as far away from all that as possible. I figured it was something to do that, like it's why she broke up with her, because she knew that having an honest and genuine relationship with someone that she actually loved and wanted to be with was dangerous, because Vought would find out and Homelander would find out. If Vought finds out, they would just I think chances are maybe Stillwell actually knew. I think Stillwell could have actually known, and she warned her against doing that, because again, like homophobia, like their supporters are homophobic, and it's not a good look for the company. So she kind of gave her a deal that she's either out of the 7, or she can break it off with Elena and date Homelander for good publicity. So they did that, and then Homelander was more than happy to take Queen Maeve. And then so then that stuff happened. But yeah, now I lost my train of thought. As I was talking, this happened so much. As I was talking, I lost my train of thought. But Maeve just kind of went down that path of realizing that the only way to keep Elena safe and to keep her close by was to literally distance herself, to literally walk out of her life with no explanation. Because if she knew what happened, then she'd kind of feel endangered and unsafe, and she'd kind of feel ways about it. But yeah, she wants to protect Elena from Homelander especially, but also just in general from any kind of danger that might befall her. So yeah, we as a fandom need to protect Maeve and Elena. We need to protect Maggie and Elena. We need to protect them. We need to protect them with all of our strength and our souls, and make sure nothing bad befalls them. So yeah, it was fun seeing them together. It was really cool seeing that kind of that kind of story between them. So that was cool. I feel like we need to talk about deep skills. I recognized that voice almost instantly. It took me a couple of times because like the sound was muffled at first because his jacket was actually closed. But then as soon as the voice started talking again, I got like a whiff. Like I recognized that voice. And then he covered it up again. It was muffled. But no, for one thing, they cast Patton Oswalt in this show, which is awesome. Patton Oswalt is an awesome actor. He's played a lot of great characters over the years, so it's awesome to see him in basically anything he shows up in. But for another thing, they cast him as the Gills. They cast him as the Deep's Gills, and not even in a reality setting. They literally, like, while he's high on shroom tea, he hears his Gills singing to him and talking back to him, you know. So yeah, Patton Oswalt just as the Deep's Gills. That is like that is quite the credit for an actor to have, to play the body part of another character, of an actual living character. And yeah, the Gills themselves look weird, and even when they're talking and the lips are flapping and everything, that's just even weirder. But yeah, I mean that's those scenes were cool. Those scenes were cool to see. I think it started off as a kind of you know, like a self-reflecting on the history thing, like, you know, how he's treated other people over the years, and you know why he's treated them like that. So like there's one line he used where, you know, he can't accept his own body. So that's why he violates other people's. So yeah, so his Gills. I mean, we saw it happening firsthand in like last season. We saw it happening when that girl with the Gill fetish raped him, and she didn't really have much of a positive reaction. She clearly, I mean, she had a thing for them, sure, but she also just kind of criticized them in the worst way, like, you know, oh, they're so fucking freaky. How do you live with that? And all that kind of stuff. So, you know, she clearly wasn't using it in like an actual loving way. She actually did mean to like demean them and demean him in return, and also violate him while getting herself off. But then it's happened over the years too. So I think there was like him having sex with some kind of teacher or something way back when, and then he bailed on her before he could actually help deliver the host of the Teacher of the Year awards or something, and then it like a bunch of other people. So because he feels bad about the way his Gills look on his body, he then internalizes that and then projects it onto others and harms others in the process. So I figured there was like a psychological element to like what he does and why he does it. So yeah, again, it's not justification in any way. Like, you know, like it's like having that kind of thing, like having that kind of link or having that kind of element in be involved doesn't in any way just, you know, suddenly like justify or excuse it in any way. It's still wrong. It's still super wrong. But now it gives some kind of history as to who Deep is and why he is and stuff like that. So yeah, and then they started singing. I don't even know what the song was. I mean, like at different points with different lyrics, I thought it was different songs. After one of the lyrics, I thought it was when he started singing "You Are," I thought he was gonna start singing "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys, like "You Are My Fire." But you know, it's I don't know. It's like I didn't recognize any of those lyrics, and even when they harmonized for the lyrics, I didn't recognize at all what the song was. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Some of the music they use in this show, I don't really recognize it always, but some of it's kind of catchy and it works. You know, I mean, I think off the top of my head, I think, and this is fairly mainstream, so it's not really going to come up as a surprise, but off the top of my head, I'd say the one song I've recognized that they've used in this is actually is Thingamabobbly Bibbly Bobbly Wannabe by Spice Girls. Yeah, Wannabe by Spice Girls. Like it played directly after Billy's Spice Girls analogy of the team, which was a nice build up. So it was kind of it kind of gave you an idea that, you know, oh, maybe that's coming, and then that's a nice kind of neat little reference. But yeah, and then in the teaser trailer they played they kind of played the instrumentals for "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel. So, you know, given how this show started with Billy Joel, it's good that they actually bring it in. Even on his phone, Huey was actually listening to another one of Billy Joel's songs. So "We Didn't Start the Fire." That's the only one. That's the only Billy Joel song I've listened to, I think. I think that's the only Billy Joel song I've listened to. Yeah, again, that one's mainstream. That one feels pretty mainstream. A lot of people have heard it. It's fairly common and popular to use it in trailers and whatnot. So it has a good tune to it. It has a good theme. It has a good melody to it. So it's catchy. And of course there was the a while back they did the Avengers thing of it, like on Jimmy Fallon. They actually like an Avengers remix of "We Didn't Start the Fire," and that was cool. That one, the lyrics to that are sometimes stuck in my head once I started seeing it. So yeah, that was cool. But yeah, where did we get to? The Deep. Yeah, the Deep. But yeah, then I like that they went from that kind of, you know, historical exploration to self-motivation. He went from actually analyzing Deep's past to making him look in a mirror, look back at himself and analyze himself, and then to go from, you know, like, you are beautiful, you are fine, and then he starts singing and everything like that. So yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Again, just Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt has that kind of voice. Patton Oswalt has like a beautiful self-motivation, like a motivational kind of voice. He can give a motivational speech. So yeah, that was really cool. Hats off to Patton Oswalt. For pulling that off. So yeah, again, like, I don't know many actors who would actually who would actually agree to play like the body parts of another person, especially the gills. Like, you know, you tell someone they're playing a body part, they'll be like, okay, great. Like, is it like a mouth gonna open up on someone's arm or leg or on their chest or something? Like, no, this person is a superhero that has gills on their abs, and you're gonna be talking about those. Like, Patton Oswalt probably like, hell yeah, I'll do that shit. But yeah, I don't know how that conversation went. But either way, Patton Oswalt, it was cool to see him. It was super cool to see him. So I think this one was exclusive to this episode because, again, the Deep was on like an actual. He was on like a shroom high. He was on a shroom tea high. So I think this might be the only episode we get it for. But either way, it was cool. It worked really well. So that was cool. We got a lot more of Stormfront. Nothing too actiony. We saw a little bit of her powers through her hands. Like, we saw like lightning, like purple lightning between her hands. So we know she, like, you know, Stormfront. She probably does have like weather-based powers like Storm from X-Men. She can probably craft thunderstorms or lightning strikes or whatever. But I think we'll have to wait and see her in actual action. But I actually like her so far. I don't know if it's weird to say that, but I think I like how she is as a character, like, how she is as a character. Like, you know, she has like an upfront attitude, and she's carefree about everything. Like, she has an upfront attitude to the point where, you know, she like, I think they did like an interesting thing. I think they showed like an interesting kind of dynamic where at the beginning of the interviews she's actually okay with answering these questions, but by the end of it she's like, okay, I know you guys are reading from a script and you have a certain set of questions you have to ask, and ones that, you know, you're only allowed to ask, but, you know, still at the same time, she's kind of making her own thoughts clear. Like, you know, what does it matter what's between a superhero's legs, and, you know, can we have some pockets in these suits? Like, you know, actually speaking her own mind and stuff. So she is, I think she's the most, like, kind of personal superhero on the team so far. Like, she's, in the sense that she's not really emotional about much, but she just doesn't care. She really doesn't care. Like, she is Stormfront. She is Stormfront. She does what she does. She is who she is. She's the hero. She's part of the Seven now, so she's gonna do her job pretty much. So I'm hoping that doesn't mean she just kills people out of, you know, out of freedom to kill. I'm hoping I am praying she's not the female Homelander. Okay, like a male Homelander is bad enough. That is bad enough. A female Homelander is the last thing we need. So I'm hoping she is actually Stormfront and not just the female version of him. So yeah, but I have faith. I'm sure that comment's not going to age too well, but I have faith. Like, you know, like, based on this episode, I'm already enjoying her. I'm already enjoying the attitude she has to working for Vought. Like, she's not really all about Vaught's promotional tactics or whatever they want her to do and say and wear and everything. She's going to do her own thing, but she's also going to work at Vought. But she's going to be her own hero for the most part. So there's that. And yeah, and she had her own hero growing up. She had her own. I think I didn't actually write down the name. I think she actually mentioned like Pippi something. Yeah, Pippi Longstocking, a 9-year-old girl. I mean, I don't know if she's talking about her being 9 in the present day, or if it was while she was growing up. I mean, if she mentions her age at that point, then she's probably in the present. No, because she was actually talking about who she idolized growing up. So I think, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, wait, let me check that. Oh, so I don't know if she was real. I don't know. Well, I mean, she said she read Pippi Longstocking. It could have been like a biography or something, but autobiography. But she said Pippi Longstocking. She used to dress up as her for Halloween. She lived in a house all by herself. Pet monkey, lifting a horse with one hand, for all that stuff. So yes, I mean, yeah, like the way she asked Starlight that question, and Starlight immediately responded with Homelander. I think there's like I think there's like a neat mixture there between the fact that that's kind of what she's supposed to say, because Homelander is the face of Vought, and also because it's what she's been trained to say. Like, Homelander is a household name. Everyone knows Homelander. He's everywhere, so that's like the household name of the Supes. But yeah, no, Stormfront actually did like her own personal research into someone that she would idolize herself, and not just going after the trend or the latest fads or whatever. So she found out about Pippi Longstocking and all of her stories, and how she lived in a house by herself and everything else about her life. So she, again, I think it's further establishing that she is her own hero. Like, Pippi Longstocking was a hero to her, so she in that sense, she does also want to be a hero to other people, but not just like, she doesn't just want to be a hero in the sense of like doing good stuff. She wants to be a hero in the sense of actually living life by your own rules, and living life with your own freedom, doing what you want regardless of what anyone else thinks, and most importantly, not caring what anyone else thinks. I think that's the message she wants to send out. But whether or not Vaught's gonna let her send that message is more of a question, because I don't think Vaught's really afraid of kicking her out if they feel like she's not really sending them the right message for them. Like, Vought would want heroes who, please their voters and please their poll numbers and stuff. Like if someone's freedom doesn't really align with their supporters' ideals, then they might reconsider having them on the 7 or having them on the team in some way. So I don't know, but again, I admire that. I'd say definitely admire that. Like her willingness to chase that freedom and to use that freedom to lead her life and to live life by her own rules and be her own hero among the 7. So I look forward to see what she's got. In store. But yeah, I mean, she did make a good point about the pockets though, and the genitalia thing. Like, it really should not matter, what the superheroes got between their legs, as long as they're good at their job and they, give off a good message and they inspire hope and peace and compassion and all that jazz. As long as they do all of that stuff, it really should not matter whether what they've got, who they are, what they are. And also the pockets thing, the superhero keeps saying, but the dresses need pockets, but also the suits, it would be useful for the suits that have pockets. I mean, Stormfront carries around her phone, and she's obviously using it for good publicity. She's broadcasting her location and sharing news about Vought, so it's good to have that thing on her at all times. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I can see where she's coming from on that kind of stuff. But yeah, we can see more of her soon. We can see more of her very soon. One thing I never thought I'd see so soon is Homelander with Ryan. Ryan, son of Homelander. Ryan Vought? No, Ryan Homelander? No, that just sounds terrible. Just Ryan. He's Ryan, and they changed the boy too. They changed the actor. It's a visibly different actor from the finale of season 1 to now. I don't think. I was wondering for a second, like, could it be because some time has passed? Like, could he have aged? Could he have aged and he changes? But no, like they should logically still be able to keep the same actor, but for whatever reason they didn't. They actually changed the actor who played him for this season. So that's cool. But we got some stuff with him, and at first it was just simple stuff like playing catch and sharing some fake stories about how his dad taught him to play catch, and they went to the Super Bowl and everything. And then at night, come nighttime, it directly turns into the indoctrination of superhero supremacy, of godly supremacy. Him telling his son how they are both gods who stand above all of humanity, and that is the life they should lead. So yeah, he did a turn of the tables real quick there. So yeah, he's disappointed. He's disappointed that his son hasn't really unlocked his true potential or his powers yet, because he's playing. He can barely throw the fastball, but at his age, Homelander was actually breaking the soundbar, and I think there's a very, very big difference. I mean, I think he does know it. I think he does know why, because he unlocked his abilities at an early age because he grew up in a lab. The scientists were constantly testing his powers, testing his limits, and pushing them, seeing what he could do and seeing what he was capable of. So, there's a reason why at the age of 9 he was actually able to break the sound barrier. But Becca confirmed that they wanted to keep Ryan safe. They wanted Ryan to live as ordinary of a life as possible. So then I guess there is there is a risk of what could happen to kids if he hangs around near them. But I think them wanting him to live a normal life, I feel like it's more in terms of him actually of how he's raised. Over what other kids might think of him, he doesn't seem to have any friends of his own. He doesn't seem to have any kids that come around to play catch with him or to talk to him or anything. So he definitely lives isolated from society, but he still learns math and piano and everything else like that. So yeah, I don't know. So he's still learning to blend in with humans and to actually learn human knowledge, but he's not actually interacting with other humans aside from his mother. So that one kind of seems weird, but I guess it's understandable. It's definitely understandable. And I think, and now they run the risk of the first other person, the one and only other person besides from his mother and his teachers that he interacts with, being Homelander, his dad, his psychotic father. So yeah, I don't know what their plan is here, but Becca went straight to Dr. Park. She went straight to Dr. Park, asking him to move them again now that Homelander found out. But Dr. Park said it wasn't possible because he'd find them again, and it just wasn't possible for their situation for them to be moved again. So yeah, I wonder who the Dr. Park is. I don't think we've met him before. No, I wonder who Dr. Park is, but I'm sure we'll meet him. Soon. But yeah, he organized it. He organized this kind of secret, isolated life for Becca and Ryan, and then Homelander blew it. He found out the truth from Vogelbaum, and he killed him, and then he blew it. He blew their life up. So yeah, and he also made some kind of deal with Becca. I think he actually mentioned them having a deal. When she told them, when she asked them in the beginning, to actually leave their lives and never come back, and I think it might have something to do with Billy. I think it actually might have something to do with Billy. I think he kind of told her, if she doesn't let him see his son, then he actually will go forward and kill Billy. Because I think he knocked Billy out after he actually saw the truth. He showed him the truth to break him, to show him what he'd done, what had actually happened all these years to his wife, and what kind of situation she was in. And then he knocked him out, and then he picked him up and dropped him off in a restaurant parking lot. So yeah, and left him in such a way that he couldn't actually he struggled to believe initially whether he had actually seen the truth or not, whether he was hallucinating. So he jotted down all the details he could remember about that stuff. So yeah, pardon me. So I don't know. But I think that might be the deal. That may well be the deal. He mentioned it at the beginning. He mentioned the deal at the begingoing, so I think that might be to do with Billy. But then at the end, he kind of related it more to himself, being he needs to know his father, and what's going to happen in the future when he asks to go out to Burger King or to go out somewhere, and then he finds out you lied to him all his life. And yeah, I think that one might be more in terms of that one might be more in relation to who he is and how Homelander is his dad and stuff, because he is the spitting image of Homelander. He is the spitting image of Homelander. He's blonde, he's a boy, and he's other things that Homelander is, and he has all these different powers, and they've clearly been keeping the powers on lockdown. They've clearly been keeping the powers on lockdown. So yeah, and I think, the way those stories usually go, it's kind of the character arc kind of runs in a way that it's they usually wait until the kid is of a certain age, a certain point in maturity in their lives, a certain age, like a teenage, to actually tell them what the truth is and tell them where they come from and who they are and what powers they have. So I wonder if that was what the plan was here, to actually raise him to be normal, but then once he's actually old enough to understand things and to understand where he comes from and what he can do, then they tell him. So yeah, but then I don't know why she. I don't know why she wouldn't mention it to Homelander, but then I wonder what would have happened if she did. Like if he would have disagreed with it and said that, no, he needs to learn now. He needs to learn now what he can do. Because again, I think it would have been more of the superhero supremacy BS. Like, him actually being like, no, he needs to learn what he can do now. He's a god. He doesn't deserve to stand among the humans. He needs to fly above them like I do and learn that he can destroy them if he wants to. And stuff like that. That is the route Homelander's going to go down. That is the exact route Homelander's going to go down. He's going to teach him that he can destroy humans if they ever so much as... If they serve him his soup cold, then he can just burn them to a crisp. He's going to teach him that exact kind of rubbish. So, yeah, like him going down that route, even like when he was saying goodnight to him, him, like, just like that kind of forced "I love you" alone was just hard to watch. Like him being like, "Oh, I love you, son." You can say it back to me and be like him being like, "Yeah, it's cool. I guess you're all right too, dude, bro. Like I guess you're okay. I love you too." And then I'm around cheering. I'm like, "Oh, he said I love you to me." But no, that is not a genuine "I love you." That was never a genuine "I love you." So I'm happy about that much at least. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like that's definitely the route that he's gonna go down. So I'm anxious about how well Ryan might be raised under that kind of mantra, under that kind of ideology, but we'll see. I guess we shall see exactly where that leads us. But yeah, the way things are going now, I think we have Homelander interacting with his son, which is just a bad son in general. Then we have the team, the boys, are gonna have to find out what to do with Mouse, what to do with Kimiko's brother, and how to deal with him being the super terrorist, and also whether or not to hand him over to the CIA and see what they do, because then that's when they all get their ends of the bargain. That's when that's when Billy can get Becca back and can see his family again and all that kind of stuff. But then they've got other troubles in the way too. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention the A-Train stuff. So A-Train woke up. A-Train actually woke up. He remembered everything. He remembered all that stuff. So he had her led on for a good few minutes before he broke. And he even threatened to go. He found the compound B in the end. And he threatened to go to Vought with that, and even just reminded her that Homelander would kill her for this. So that was fun. But then she had dirt on him too. She heard from I think she heard from Huey that thingy. I think she was probably regaining consciousness at that point, because I think he did mention right before he died of a heart attack. He did mention that he killed her, but then he still blamed it on Huey. So I think she was somewhat regaining consciousness at that point. So that's when she found out, and then and then in the time afterwards, she looked through the Vought medical report and found out about the needles of heroin just jammed into her arm, like not even safely syringed in, but it just plunged into her arm. Seeing that one of them even managed to puncture her bone, just shatter her bone. So she knows about that too. So if he does take her down, then she takes her down. Then she takes him down with her. So yeah, and then she took the compound V back after that. So yeah, I think that's going to be another rivalry. That is going to be yet another rivalry we see this season. Like how A-Train and how A-Train and Starlight deal with each other, knowing each other's kind of leverage and blackmails and stuff. Like her having a sample of compound V to sneak out of Vought, and him being the one that really killed Popclaw and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch. And I think she herself, Starlight is actually kind of her interactions with Stormfront is interesting to see, because again she was raised for Vought. She wasn't raised the same way Stormfront was raised. She was literally raised to be a member of the Seven. Like she went to countless pageants and trained countless hours with her powers and Taekwondo and just being a superhero. Like her mother literally bred her to be a member of the Seven, and then she finally grew up and she auditioned and she got accepted and stuff. So she's she got in, she grew up that way, and then after actually getting into the Seven, she found out exactly all the things that were wrong, and she found out that this isn't what she really wanted. She wanted to be a superhero, but not in the way that they publicize it. So yeah, and she grew up on Queen Maeve. She grew up idolizing Queen Maeve, so she literally grew up a fangirl of the Seven and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I think I'm interested to see that dynamic, like how her kind of perspective on things clashes and kind of, you know, interacts with Stormfront's perspective. Like, Stormfront is just her own hero. Again, she's her own person, doesn't really care what anyone thinks. She's willing to do her own thing. Whereas Starlight is aware of what the public eye actually means, and she's aware of, you know, like how big of a scandal saying or doing the wrong thing can be. So she wants to be careful of that, but she also wants to be that textbook superhero that actually inspires hope and encourages young women, especially. She wants young women to feel that power and to have that power. So it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that relationship. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. It was a fun one. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things go from here, with everything that happened. So yeah, that is all I have from this episode. So that was The Boys, Season 2, Episode 2, titled Proper Preparation and Planning. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of this episode and what you think is coming up next time on The Boys. Once again, the full-length reaction for this episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.